জামাতিতে আবার থিবা হেতি কি সঙ্গ দান করব জামাতিতে আবার থিবা হেতি কি সঙ্গ দান করব
Magnificent mountains, splendid waterfalls, and scenic landscapes. Life is simple and pristine in the villages of western Odisha. Home to several tribal communities, the region is rich in biodiversity and natural beauty. Cultivation of paddy, rearing animals, and other household chores constitute a typical day in the life of a local. But meager means prove insufficient to sustain even the basic needs of the villagers. This has led to a major distress migration crisis. In the absence of alternative livelihood and lack of agricultural assets, hundreds of thousands of locals migrate to other states in search of livelihood. To ameliorate the situation, Government of Odisha has intervened by making a new policy which would increase the benefits provided by Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act considerably. In a bid to arrest distress migration, the government has initiated integrated natural resource management planning to create agri-based livelihood opportunities.
In order to check distressed migration, which is quite prevalent in this block and in this district, the government decided to enhance the number of man days available to NREGA workers from 100 days to 200 days, and also simultaneously increasing the wage rate to rupees 298. The beautiful thing about NREGA is that simultaneously it puts money in people's hand, and also it creates a durable and productive assets at the rural level, and it helps the local communities to fight against poverty in the long term.
मोर जगह 1.5-2 एकड़ जमीन अच्छे आज्ञा से आम गच लगे आम गच लगाबार से जमीटा ढालू जमी से पैन रोनी मटीटा सब कड़कड़ी नहीं जाता आज्ञा जे से गात खोलला पैनटा ठीक रही आसिक से जमुचे मोर माट के बोही नहीं नेबा और चाष भी गच से पैनटा ठीक काम आसे मत पानी लगे असुविधा हबार नहीं और से जेन जेन जगह बाकी जगह मुई मेगा चाष भी करुचे हिड़ दिया से भी भल रही
मो नाती लिखैरा जंगल जमीन रु पट्टा पाइछु आउ माटी बुहिछु 50 दिन पैसा पाइछु 15,000 आउ तास करुछु एसो आम गड़गड़ बाहली रे 17 जन को पट्टा आइछि जंगल जमीन रे आउ सबको आइछि नरेगा काम
Similarly, several other community and individual assets were developed under participatory INRM planning to enhance local livelihood. Trench-cum-field bunding is a labor-intensive soil and water conservation structure which can potentially enhance the productivity of the land by 20 to 30% through soil and moisture conservation. Excavation of new multi-purpose water tanks and renovation of community water bodies like village ponds are now major source of water for the villagers. They provide water for irrigation and various other purposes. Nutri gardens, also known as Mo Upkari Bagicha, aim to increase access to nutrition-rich diverse vegetables and fruits. Particularly the needs of children, pregnant women, lactating mothers and adolescent girls. This is made possible through assets that were developed under Mahatma Gandhi NREGA. Loose Boulder Check Dam is made up of loosely arranged boulders and acts as a speed breaker for flowing water and arrests the loss of fertile soil. 5% model and farm ponds, either dug out or created by the construction of an embankment across a waterway, Farm ponds help farmers by storing rainwater to provide adequate, reliable, long-term water supply, thereby mitigating vulnerability and uncertainty of rain-fed farmers. The block is also developing one INRM model village per Gram Panchayat with at least 5 types of INRM structures, which will act as an exposure site for the local community.
Active community participation in INRM planning at village level is the key. That helps the Gram Panchayat to identify livelihood gaps in every household and plan accordingly. So while planning this INRM, these households are actually identifying their land utilization and developing assets in their land so that the land can be used properly, and also helping to conserve rainwater so that same can be used for agriculture purposes. To do so, the government has partnered with local NGOs, also known as facilitating NGOs, and resource NGO Pradhan.
मुई इट भाटा जो थिली इट भाटा नु आसी करी सरकार 200 दिनर काम जोगाला जोगे करी काम कली मासिक काम करी करी 7,000 टंका मुई पहली से 7,000 के चाष काम करू छे एंती काम मिलले आगे के जीमता अलगी गाँती तो करमु ना चाष बास करमु ई मैट बुटी बोहेमु ई काम मुने करमु गाँती रही करी भाटा बाहर क्या करी जीमुता ई काम जिनटा सरकार दबा से काम करी करी खामु बोली चाष काम करमु मैट काम आसले मैट बोहेमु परिवार पोसमु.
For the villagers, there is no greater joy than not having to leave their villages and families behind in search of livelihood. With longer duration of employment, higher wage payments, INRM planning for better land and water utilization, the Odisha government's initiative under Mahatma Gandhi NREGA is bringing smiles on the faces of rural people. A steady cash flow brings with itself the promise of a better lifestyle and a brighter future. Thanks to the assets that the locals themselves build under the Mahatma Gandhi NREGA, better utilization of their resources is now possible, encouraging them to practice agriculture on their land and setting them free from the shackles of distress migration.
জামাতিতে আবার থিবা খেতি কিষান দান করবা জামাতিতে আবার থিবা খেতি কিষান দান করবা